Well, the Supreme Court's set to take up DACA soon, and one expert says the justices will side with the Trump administration. One America's John Hines has more on that from Washington.
Please tell me about your lawsuit and what's going on, what you hope to accomplish.
We have written an amicus brief in the Supreme Court arguing that the Supreme Court has to look at whether DACA is lawful. What the Supreme Court is considering now is whether Trump's rescission of DACA is lawful. And we early are arguing that the Supreme Court has to consider the lawfulness of DACA itself in order to determine the Supreme Court's jurisdiction.
Talk about that point.
It looks very odd to someone looking at this that courts have actually held that President Trump doesn't have the discretion to end a program that President Obama began in his discretion. And it's especially bizarre. That program is unlawful to begin with. And it seems very unlikely that the Supreme Court is going to hold that President Trump couldn't rescind an unlawful program and issue an order putting back in place that unlawful program.
Did you just make a prediction about what the Supreme Court will do?
Yes. Well, I think it's very unlikely that the Supreme Court is going to issue an order reinstating what it believes is an unlawful program. So I think it's very unlikely that the Supreme Court is going to issue an order reinstating DACA if, as I believe is the case, the Supreme Court thinks DACA is unlawful.
And according to your amicus brief, this is the point you essentially make, correct? That it is unlawful.
It is unlawful, and therefore the plaintiff's injuries can't be redressed, and therefore they lack standing, and therefore the Supreme Court lacks jurisdiction. And the Supreme Court would have to dismiss and side with President Trump.
I think there is another amicus brief that you're also have also proposed or submitted to the Supreme Court, and that is with regards to the labor provisions of DACA, and saying that DACA has ignored certain labor laws in the United States. What is that point, and why is that perhaps salient in this particular instance?
It's salient because part of DACA is that people receiving it get work authorizations. They can work here with the permission of DHS. First of all, there's no place in the law where Congress, which protects American jobs all over the place in the immigration laws, gave the authority to the agency to just authorize work for aliens as it sees fit. And if there were such a place in the law,
which is what DACA did, correct?
Which is exactly what DACA did.
In the Obama administration.
In the Obama administration. And in fact, all of these things that we're challenging are were done in the Obama administration, though some of them are still being defended by the Trump administration. If there were such a place in the law where Congress authorized DHS to authorize work for aliens as it saw fit, that would be unconstitutional.
So in other words, what you're saying is that President Obama was overstepping his authority through DACA because essentially it infringes on labor laws currently in effect in the United States.
Yes, President.
And he has no authority to do that.
Yes, President Obama had no authority to tear up the worker protections for American workers and give this many people the right to work in the United States, this many aliens the right to work in the United States.
So on that basis, potentially you're making the case the Supreme Court should overturn DACA, correct? Is that it?
Yes, it should declare it unlawful.
So when do we think they may hear this case?
It would probably be in 2020.
2020. So sometime between January and June, I'm assuming 2020.
Yes, I believe that's correct. And the court is very likely to hear this case right in the middle of an election year for president, and it's quite possible that the court will turn it into a political issue.
So this could be a major issue in the presidential campaign.
Yes, DACA could be a major issue in the presidential campaign if the Supreme Court sides with Trump.
As you expect it will.
As I expect it will.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.